We were all worried that Netflix's One Piece live-action adaptation was going to be bad, judging by Tomorrow Studios and Netflix's track records, and things only appear to be looking up from here, as it has now broken records for the streaming service, and they've already planned out a season 2. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start off with this Bounding into Comics article, but I do have a few things to show off. It says live-action One Piece tops Netflix's top 10 charts with a booming 140 million hours viewed. Now, I was very skeptical leading up to the release of this. I put out several videos and several tweets just because Tomorrow Studios does not have the best track record, of course. If you do not know, they did the Cowboy Bebop live-action adaptation, and I really was hoping that that one was going to be good, because I've got to be honest, I feel like Cowboy Bebop should have been relatively easy to adapt. Yeah, you still have to use a lot of CGI and a lot of special lighting and stuff and cool costumes, but I feel like it was easier to achieve. But no, it was actually the opposite. It was a very poorly done series, from the writing to the sets and the costumes, and One Piece actually ended up being significantly better, which I'm so happy about. I never wanted this to be bad. Like, I don't want content to be bad. I want content to be good. I'm sick of having to, expect the worst out of creatives, but this one was, relatively surprising in a very positive way. It says Netflix recently released their global top 10 chart for the week of August 28th to September 3rd, and the live-action One Piece Season 1 took the top spot. There's actually been a lot of hype surrounding this. I've seen a lot of people on social media talking about it, but I do think that, when it comes to Netflix's top charts, it is hard to judge because nothing else really released next to it. It's not like the same day other content came out. This was their only big release for the week, and now that other things have released, it's actually been thrown out of the top spot. But it still did really good, and the hours viewed are crazy. It says Netflix reported the show racked up 140.1 million hours viewed and 18.5 million views in its first week. The series dropped all 8 of its episodes on Thursday, August 31st, and Netflix explains that a view is the total hours viewed divided by the total runtime. And as you can see, nothing else released the same day, but there were other pieces of content that came close, like Who is Aaron Carter, that came not close in hours viewed, but in views in total, because One Piece got 18.5 and this got 15.8, and then nothing else really even touches those two. I mean, the third is 5.7 million views, and then 3.4, 3.1. But it says Netflix also reports the series placed in the top 10 in 93 countries and was first in 46 of them. So this is a very big win for Netflix and also Tomorrow Studios. And like I said, I was very skeptical going into this, but honestly, it is pretty freaking solid. It's an anime adaptation, so of course not everything translates well, but this one actually turned out to be almost a breath of fresh air because it was well acted. I mean, holy smokes, are some of the actors in this great. In my opinion, Luffy and Buggy's actors are seriously awesome, but it also doesn't look bad visually. It is a complete 180 from Cowboy Bebop, which had cheap looking sets, poor costuming, and only 2 to 3 actors in that entire thing were well cast, in my opinion. It is vastly different. And look, One Piece is not perfect, right? But it's a step in the right direction. You're never going to get a perfect conversion from anime to live action. I will firmly stand by that. I have never seen anything that is like perfectly converted 100% perfect in every aspect, but you can make one that's better than not bad, and this does that. It does more positives than negatives, which is so awesome to see. One Piece has such a massive, dedicated, amazing fan base of people who just wanted this to be a very good series, and we finally are actually getting something that we can be proud of, at least for the most part, proud of. This can be seen as a win, but I do want to point out that even though this is a win, it doesn't mean that other adaptations will magically be this good or go in this direction. And right now, Tomorrow Studios is 1-for-1. They did Cowboy Bebop, which was a failure. They did this, which was a win. So if they make a season 2, I'd still be pretty skeptical. They haven't cleared that bad reputation in my mind. Even though they did good with this, they still are a 1-for-1, and obviously Oda's work on this did pay off and show up in the final product, but who knows if he would be heavily involved in season 2 or even if they did a season 3. Because he started this series off with helping, and he kind of helped them with those building blocks, but they might say going into, a season 2, well, since we understand your vision and our creatives have worked with you, we don't feel that it's as necessary if you work so closely on a season 2. So there's still a lot of questions that we would have going into a season 2, and it does seem like they are going to make one. According to several sources at this point, the producer is saying that scripts are ready. There are some sources, behind the scenes saying that they are planning to start this, as soon as the strikes end. They really want to make this happen. They're really happy with, how good the series has gone viewership wise and also ratings wise. It's doing really great. I mean, an 85% critic is good. Top critics a little bit messier. It's a 64%, and the audience is a 96. I've got to be honest, I don't think that it deserves a 96. I don't think that it deserves that high of a rating, but it definitely does not deserve something as low as a 64. I could agree with something around the all critic. Again, there were moments that were a little bit wonky that didn't translate all that well, but I do think for the most part it was really solid. Definitely not a 96, but also not as low as a 64. And I would most certainly be interested if they decided to do a season 2. I would be watching, and I would cross my fingers and hope that it would be good as this first season. But yeah, I mean, this first season has done really good for Netflix and Tomorrow Studios. It has broken some records, and also in comparison to the live action Cowboy Bebop, the show had only racked up 21.6 million hours viewed globally, so massive differences in viewership. This is most certainly their most successful anime to live action adaptation that they have done at this point, and it did top the Netflix charts with a booming 140 million hours viewed. We can only go up from here. I really hope that if they do a season 2, it'll be as good, or whatever Tomorrow Studios decides to work on next will be, definitely more in this direction compared to the Cowboy Bebops that they have done in the past. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.